We're learning about Gemara. This is Tuesday's Gemara, Daf Yud Beis. In the middle of the sugya, trying to work out whether an Eved has a status of a field of land, karka, or whether it has the halachic legal status of metalkin. The Gemara now says perhaps it's an argument of Tanaim. About 12 lines at the top of the page, and Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. Lema Tanaim. It's actually an argument of Tanaim. Look, it says in the Brisa, I sold you slaves and I sold you fields. You made a kinyan in the slaves, like kana kakais. You're not koina the land. The kakais, if you made a kinyan on the land, like kana avodim, you are not koina the slaves. Kakais, I sell you fields and I sell you portable items. If you made a kinyan on the property on the land, you are kind of metalton. But metalton, if you made a kinyan on the metalton, lekana karka. Metalton cannot drag along karka. Metalton is subordinate to field, to land. Avodim metalton. If I sell you slaves, I sell you metalton. Even though I just said when it comes to land, if I sell you land and portable, I make a kinyan on the land. The portable automatically is acquired by me. So if I sell you slaves, what happens together with portable items? You made a kinyan in the slaves. You have not been kind to them, but you haven't acquired the metal. What does that prove? Proves that avodim do not have the status of fields, do not have the status of land. The metal avodim. So this brisa clearly seems to learn that avodim does not have the status, the legal status of fields, of land, karka. But in another place we learned, but Tanya, another place we learned, you made a kinyan and the avodim, you acquire the portable items with it. It's clear that is the argument. The first brisa says that avodim have the status of metalkun, and the second brisa says no, avodim have the status of karka, of land. Therefore, you made a kinyan avodim, automatically you kinyan the metalkun. My love isn't the case. But it's exactly the argument. Marsava, one of them holds avodim kimikakoidam. One of them holds that slaves has the same din as fields. That's why you're kind of the metalton with it. The other one holds no, avodim metalton if you're not kind of. We're going to have two answers. One answer would be that perhaps avodim, everyone agrees avodim are like karka, and the other answer will be that everyone agrees that avodim are merely like portable items. And the Gemara will reconcile two prices as follows. Everyone will agree that avodim kiva karka. I can learn that everyone holds that avodim have the same status as fields, dummy. So it explicit. Therefore, the one that says that if you kind of the avodim, you're kind of metalton makes sense. How do we explain the other brisa? Why aren't you kind of Tanya kind shopping? How do Tanya the brisa will like kind of that you are not kind of metalton with it? But avodim is karka, but it's a unique kind of karka. It's a karka that moves. And when we say that if you're kind of karka, you're kind of metalton with it, it's only karka that's stationary. Because where we derive the concept is talking about land. And avodim move around. So it's a karka, but it moves around. Being in karka doing the other mitzvah Yehuda, you need karka that's similar to the fortified cities of Yehuda, the loinadi that don't move. It's not because we learned in the Mishnah Kedushin, the chosim she'ein lehem achrayis niklin im the chosim sheyesh lehem achrayis, that you can acquire it with land, portable items, what bekeser shtar chazak, if you can kinyan the land, whichever one it is. And only then does it work. And how do we know? Their parents gave them, the father gave them many gifts, la kesev, la zov, la McDonald's, all these wonderful things, gold and silver, and there are all these precious things. Im together with the cities in Yehuda. So we learn out that you're kind of metal together with land, but mitzuda, these are stable karka, don't move about. So everyone holds that's karka, but just avodim are a unique kind of a karka. Or I can learn all the way around. Ikadamni, again, this concept of unique, but differently. Everyone holds avodim kimetaltin. Everyone holds avodim like metaltin. We already said yesterday that most of the first hold that's only midurabanim. I'll tell you that definitely it's karka. But avodim like metaltin. So now if it's metaltin, we understand why you cannot be acquiring metaltin with it. But how are we going to explain the brisa that says he could? It's talking about it's sitting, it's resting on top of the Eved, and since I own the Eved is like what? It's like my courtyard, and therefore I'm kind of. Now the obvious question to me, a courtyard, but it's moving. So what it's a chatzah that moves. Chatzah that moves is not kind of. The chitayim is standing still. If you've been walking, is not kind of. Then oimid v'yosh like kind. Even standing still is not kind of. So we answer the hilchas of the kafos, he's tied down. Because he's tied down, therefore he has to stand still. He becomes a chatzah. So even though an eved not like karka, but since it's your possession, it's like your chatzah, your courtyard. It's like something's in your hand. Your kind it's like your courtyard. And if the eved is standing still, tied down, you are kind of the item. The Teish already adds standing still is not enough. That has to be standing still, and he has to be asleep because there's another problem besides moving, that the eved thinks about themselves. They're not thinking about their master or mistress, and therefore they have to be asleep as well. Setting mal weiter, what Tanya we learned, Herzig be karka kon avodim. It says that if you are machzik in the karka, you made a kinyan in the karka, you are kind of the avodim. You're kind of the avodim. How are you kind of the avodim? Avodim move about them. He goes, how are you kind of the avodim? So we answer hostel over there. They're standing. So we have a problem. One brisa says that you are not kind if you make a kinyan in the karka. You are not kind of the avodim. And top of the page, another brisa says if you make kinyan in the karka, you are kind of avodim. How to reconcile that? So we answer. You know, when you make an acquisition of the fields, you're kind of the avodim with it, as the avodim is standing inside it. Miklal, the highlight corner. So the other brisa says that you're not kind because you're not standing in it. It just makes sense going to Lashon Rama. That makes sense if you follow the opinion that says that avodim are like metal. I knew the standing inside good, if not not. According to that Lashon Rama says according to that Lashon that says that an Eved is like karka, then we know that if you we know by karka, if you make a kinya, if I'm buying two pieces of land from you, make kinya one piece of land, I'm automatically training the other one. So if an Eved is like karka, if an Eved is mental to understand, it has to be so, it has to be on. But if an Eved is like karka, then why aren't you training the Eved when you make a kinya in one property, automatically you train the other one? You're training the Eved. Normally, I'm doing why I stand inside. There's only 10 fields, but Esther, 10 countries. Kivan, Sheher, Ba'achim, and Kanakut, you kind of them all. More says back, and if it's mental to make more sense, we also have a Kenyan agav. If I'm buying fields for you and portable items, I mean Kenyan in the karka, I'm automatically training metal. So whichever way you learn is difficult to understand. Why does there have to be inside the shul? Time it lahachlish in that language. Well, that answer we gave before. Why stand inside? We have a rule condition that you don't need to be standing inside the property. Elamai Saborin tell me, shine and metal the night. Evid is different because it's moving about. It has to be inside the chutz in order to be quiet. Metal the night is different than ordinary metal that don't move about. I'll tell you, shining mekakoi the night, but even for the Evid is karka, there's two kinds of. And when do we say that you make a king in one piece of property, you're kind another one, they're all still, but not by Evid that moves about. Avda Mikaka the night you. Avda moves about. Hosam over there, Sadna the Arachadu. The entire land around the world is all contiguous to each other and all interconnected. Then the Mishnah said, and now we're going to start going through analyzing the Mishnah in the next few pages. Every din of the Mishnah, one of the din of the Mishnah is that when are you liable for damaging another animal? That if you, there's no, it's not hegdish, but hegdish, if you use it, you steal it. If you're using it, you're stealing it. And when you moil, you have to pay principal fifth, and you also have to pay a carbon usham. Now, kachim, as soon as you consecrate it, if somebody uses it for their own use, they're stealing. Kachim kalim, like a carbon shlamim, carbon taida, that when I consecrate it, it's not yet moya stealing until you actually sprinkle the blood and the fats you put on them. When you sprinkle the blood, the fats now belong to the mizbech. If you use the fats for yourself, then we say that you are moya. So because the Mishnah, instead of saying it's not hegdish, uses the more precise law of not me'ila, sounds like it's possible for it to be kachim, like shlamim, and yet you are liable for it because there's no me'ila. That means that we believe that, but Pazar Shadeh has to be your friend's animal. So we believe that kachim kalim or karm shlamim, when I set it aside, it's still considered mine until we bring it to them, until we shecht it and we sprinkle the blood. So we want to know who the author of our mission, who holds that kachim kalim are considered mine. And Rashi says the logic why it's mine is if you said, for example, hareizu, I am responsible for this animal. If it dies, I have to bring another one. So therefore, it's still considered mine. I haven't yet given or transferred yet ownership to the Beis Hamikdash. That's what Rashi says. Says the Gemara, there's no aver of stealing. Hamikdash kachi, but it's still kachim. And then what the din is that I am liable. That I'm liable for kachim kalim is considered re'eyu, my friend. Montana, who holds that? Hama Rabbi Yechon, but Kachim Kalam, talking about Kachim Kalam like Kachim Shlamim, basically, the Ahmad, he believes that Mammon Bible, he believes that Kachim Kalam is considered the owners until he brings it to the base of Mikdash and the Shechted. The Tanya we learned says that if I lied to my friend and I said, you never gave me the Pekat, you never gave me this for safekeeping, and I swear, and then later I come forward and I say, look, I really lied about it, I have to pay penalty, and I bring a carbon Hashem. There the Pasuk says, Mo Bahashem. I lied against Hashem. And again, the kichur, but I lied to my friend. How can it be partially la Hashem when it's my friend? So the rabbis kachim kalam. They kachim kalam a carbon. Partly it's Hashem. I dedicated to the Eibishter, but it's still my friends. Shema moina. It's his money. So basically, whole that's considered mammon. And that's the author of our Mishnah, and that's why the Mishnah says there's no mila, but kachim kalam, you have to pay if you cause a damage. So we ask a question, but now we learned in the Mishnah, you believe that what that kachim kalam belongs to the person. So how can we learn in Kedushin not so long ago? If a man gives from his portion to a woman for kachim, ben bekachim kachim, ben bekachim kalam, even if he gave a kachim kalam, she's not engaged because he didn't give her anything. According to Basic Lula, what means didn't give her anything? It's mine. You're going to say that Mishnah does not conform with all opinions. The Mishnah seems to be anonymous. They seem to be following everybody. Says you want to know. Even Rabbi Glili is not so simple. I can tell you it's Rabbi Glili. When does Rabbi Glili say that is considered yours while the animal's alive? It's my responsibility to make sure I bring you the base of English. So as long as I didn't bring the base of English, it's mine. But that mission in Kedushin talking about after you shechted, it belongs to the Eibush. And once it belongs to the Eibush, even if it concedes, it's like the receives after you shechted on the bottom is Hashem's. Okay, so base in the and over here, and by so when is the basic that the animal is considered mine as long as the animal is alive. And therefore, if the animal gets damaged from obviously, I have to reverse the package because the basic says it's showing it to you. It says in one of the and when the animal is alive, the basic says it's yours, but we prove that when the animal is alive, if it's suitable to bring to the base of the it's not mine anymore. The only time it's considered mine is if it's suitable to bring to the base. So what do you mean to explain? When the Chaim Yom when compared to the Choshen, it's a Chaim it's Choshen. When the land we learn what happens to a if the coin takes it, it belongs to the coin. We'll see when it says it belongs to the coin, and then the coin brings it to the coin. If there is a moon, then the coin can trust it and eat it. So what happens at the fire? Can be sold if it's unblemished only when it's alive. And then the body is shifted to buy and then it takes it and waits till it gets to them, and then you shift it. But if the Bechor died, if the Bechor had died, so what is it? Is fully the animals alone, then when it's whole, schachten, you could sell it. Now, when the categorization says when can we say that the animal is considered yours? Then you can shift the only today's time is suitable to be moved to the base of English of the school because it's no longer suitable to the product. The problem is because the album is much based on English Italian or base of English existed, the wholesale had no, the coin does not own if it's suitable to then it belongs to base of English. Okay, and what's the reason for function? The reason for revelation is because it says more and more that you enemies to culture it's clear it's considered yours belongs to the person. Why you tell me and that's the tiny disadvantage because one of the things it says in the information. We're talking about the right, the kinds of the base of English, but it's not suitable. Talking about the right. in the times of Beis Hamikdash. But a Bechor, which is a Chutz, and Chutz La'eretz is not to be up to the Beis Hamikdash. And as follows, Rav Shimon, the Amar says, if you brought a Bechor from Chutz La'eretz to the Beis Hamikdash, you can bring both means. If you take you don't have to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash at all. You have to have one about for the Beis and so therefore it's suitable for a carbon. That's why it's considered money. The E means if you were right, then it basically holds an animals in the times of it's still not responsible for the culture problems, which is culture problems. Well, we have to give this some introduction. Should we just say to be saying the two which describe the two? The E means if you were conditional part of basically into that this is a basically it's considered yours, even if it's a and the last one is following simple good. So it's you're bringing the to ask a question on Shlomo. But the Chayr is very different. The Chayr is not belong to you. But the Chayr is not belong to you. The 24 gifts given to a Kohen, they're directly from Hashem to the Kohen. So therefore, you have no permission. It's only when you take your own animal and you consecrate it to make it shlamim, we say it's yours until you put it to the basic fish. The basic is too much shlamim. And that's why in Hebrew, after we make a distinction to the Kohen. The rule does not belong to the Kohen. Matas Kohen Kaparit. Shiny Matas Kohen Kaparit. It's not considered yours at all. And therefore you cannot and what do you call and you this time it says that you come to the Kamish and you must say outside of the base of Mina because in Eretz Yisrael you wouldn't be able to even give in Eretz Yisrael is not considered yours because it's a gift from Hashem. So not to get Kamish which is made which we say over there when it was made when we could call it Shur Erev because of that.